Okay, good morning, everyone. So, this is going to be a quick video on my setup that I have for my home lab and for my PLC troubleshooting. I'm still working through it because I did end up cleaning out my system and ended up downloading CachyOS, which is what you guys are seeing now. And obviously, I'm going to get to how I do PLC stuff with my CachyOS system because most PLC software is on Windows. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a quick rundown of my setup. One of my main servers is going to be running Proxmox. And then within Proxmox, I have my Pi-hole, which is doing all my ad blocking. And then I have a Debian server, which has all of my Docker containers. Now, the Docker containers I will get to, but I kind of want to go over the rest of the setup before I continue. My router, I am running a Flint 3 router, which is a pretty advanced router. I'm sure that there's better ones out there, but this is the one after doing all my research that I ended up coming down to. It works for me. It runs OpenWRT, and I can also SSH into it if I need to get even more features onto it. And it's way beyond me, right? So like this is more than enough for my situation. What am I showing on there? Wow, maybe I should not show that. Okay, I gotta remember to block that out. Um, Anyways, this is my Flint 3 router, which is running a Proton VPN. You can run whatever VPN you want, but you have the capability of running any OpenVPN client. And again, I'll probably block out some of this stuff so that way you don't see everything. This is my Tailscale network and all my devices that I have running to it. And then this is kind of like the bread and butter on how I reach all of my systems remotely. I can do a video on how to set this thing up because I know it was kind of complicated to set up, especially with the way that I have my NGINX proxy manager working through it. I have my own domain that I got from Namecheap, and I'm able to point all of my Docker containers and all of my web apps that I want, and I point it towards my domain using some subdomains and some self certificates using Let's Encrypt. But anyways, I shall get to the Docker container. So all of my stuff, you can, I have it all set up so that way I can SSH into it from within my VPN or from within my local network. That's kind of the way that I wanted it set up from the beginning. Just because of the way that I work, right? I want all my devices connected within this VPN. So no matter where I'm at, I can access my router, I can access my Proxmox server, I can access the Debian server, etc., and always get to my applications or web apps or VMs, etc. So for my Proxmox, we'll just go quickly over the Docker containers that I have. Okay. So for my Docker containers, again, I will block stuff out, but within my container, I am running a Nextcloud server, my NGINX proxy manager. I'm running Termix, which I actually just added yesterday, and that's because I have an iPhone as my daily driver for my phone, and there are no good non-subscription open source no ads applications for SSHing. And obviously I can use A Shell. A Shell is cool, but you have to SSH into each of your servers one at a time. And with the proper SSH client, you can have multiple panes, you can have multiple terminals up at once, and then you can just navigate through them. And that's why I wanted to get Termix. So I have Termix as my solution, and I'm testing it out because I know that there's other clients out there that are much better for this. My MariaDB, which is my database for my Nextcloud. I have my Vault Warden, which I'm self-hosting my own password manager, which everyone should. It's fairly easy to host your own password manager, so I don't know why everyone doesn't do it. And then I'm running Inductive Automation's Ignition, and then this is for my self-education. I want to learn how to use this Ignition program. And then I have this running obviously within my server, which is reachable from my Windows VM, which I'll get to now. So all of these are going to that domain that I was talking about from Namecheap. So if I wanted to, let's say, for example, access Termix, I name this SSH mydomain.com, and now I can log into Termix. And this, obviously, I have all my passwords here. If I can find it, so Termix login. And you should always have complicated passwords that you can't remember, and your password manager is the only thing that'll help you remember. So if it ever gets lost, you'll be just stuck because you won't remember any of your passwords. Anyways, I'm still setting this up. I need to figure out how to do my Debian server. My Docker container holds the Termix application, and my Docker is within this Debian server, so I have to point to myself, which causes some issues. I'm finding workarounds. I'll figure it out. This is all. This is a new application that I just installed, so I don't know the inner workings of it. So I'll figure out the pointing to myself within the SSH client later. So this is how I get to my stuff. I can do a video, which I've said before, on how to point to your own custom domain, so that way you're not typing in your Tailscale IP or your local net IP all the time. And I think it's just a time saver. It looks better, and it's just more convenient because you have everything within a single domain. And I mean, your subdomain, the easier you make it to remember, the easier it is to access. And obviously these are all HTTPS. They're within the VPN, so no one can reach it besides me because I'm within the VPN. Let's see. I guess the next thing I will go over is how I access my VMs. So I have two kind of virtual machine managers. I have my virtual box, and then I have virtual machine manager, which uses QEMU. And I was kind of playing around between both of them. I honestly don't have a preference. Everyone calls VirtualBox a toy. After some optimization, I was able to get it working pretty well. The only reason I switched from QEMU or from VirtualBox to QEMU was because I have ran into this weird issue where when I would shut down, the system would hang, and no matter what I did with the display, with the graphics configurations or with the display configurations, I even had to do some more advanced XML configurations to try and get it to work, and I still couldn't. And the only way that I can shut off the machine was by doing a save state and then discarding the save state, which didn't seem efficient to me. So I'll go ahead and open up my HyperLogic workstation, and let's go ahead and actually open it up so that way you can see what I'm doing. But anyways, yeah, so that's why I switched between the two. And there you go. I could do a full screen, but I don't really want to do that right now. So like I said, everything is set up for me doing like PLC work, PLC projects, embedded systems projects, etc., etc. So this is what I have here, and this is just a quick snippet of the, what is this terminal? I will actually put this here. I think I remember what that's for. I'm gonna set that up later. But anyways, I only have Machine Expert and Beckhoff's TwinCat installed on it so far, as well as obviously the Ignition companion software like Perspective, Vision, and Designer Launcher, which I'm still learning on how to use. But you can, so because everything's within my network, I'll just show you right now. If I were to type Ignition, my domain, even within my VM, no thanks, I'd like to start from scratch. That'll reset no matter what, right? This says trial expired. So the way that Ignition does it is that you have this perpetual trial for about like 2 hours, and then it clears itself out, and then you have to go in, log in, and then reset the trial expiration thing. So technically this thing is free, but you just have to deal with this trial expiration every 2 hours or so. And it's great for installing, running yourself, and then just kind of learning the inner workings of how this software works. And they give you so much information on it. I believe it comes with like 3 videos when you run the Docker container on how to use the Designer Launcher, the Visual Studio, and then Perspectives, or Vision Client. And yeah, they also have the Ignition University. So I just feel like it's a good way to get started on SCADA. And so this is probably something that I'm going to deal with later. I do have my own personal PLCs, microcontrollers, some IoT devices that I kind of want to set up like some sort of simulated network within this room, and then I can go ahead and do some custom SCADA work, and then that'll be like a good workflow for testing and doing new things. I guess that's kind of about it. I guess the only other thing that I can go over is my main workstation, which is this CachyOS system. All my systems are basically running Linux now, which is why I'm running Windows in this VM. Most PLC software is not compatible with Linux. It's usually very, very embedded into Windows services. So you have to use a Windows machine. As that's just the way that Rockwell does it, Schneider does it, Siemens, all the big PLC companies, they all really just only function with Windows services. So there's no way around that, right? Until Linux becomes more, I guess, widespread within like the industry. So one of the things that I did want to go over is that within my actual workstation, which is the one that you're seeing right now on CachyOS, I actually run my own local LLM, which is also connected to that domain that I was talking about. And this is running OpenWebUI, and then I have a couple models here. I have Ollama 3.1, Qwen 2.5, and then I have this guy right here, which is also Qwen or Qwen 3.5, but this is an uncensored model. So I won't go too into detail how to get these or how to install these. I'll probably make another video if someone wants me to. But anyways, the good thing about running your own LLM is that you can tell it exactly what you want to do. There's no restrictions like ChatGPT, Claude, and all these companies kind of put restrictions on the models, and which is good, but also it's not good at the same time because it restricts the capabilities of the model. So when you have an uncensored model, it just answers whatever you want, right? And obviously you have to be moral and ethical with the way that you know, do these things. They're uncensored, so yes, you can ask it, you know, pretty unethical questions. But I think if you go about this in a moral way or in an ethical way, this would be a great way to learn because you are unrestricted. That's kind of the way that I think about it. But anyways, this is a whole topic that I can just, you know, go on and on for. But yeah, this is my setup. I have to remember to block out all those IPs, which I'll probably forget. So I'm going to have to rewatch this whole video, and hopefully it came out good because this is my first video. But anyways, this was the first video on my Hyperlogic Labs channel, which is brand new. I'm not new to YouTube. I used to do YouTube back in the day. I won't say the YouTube name, but this is now my new channel for my new company, Hyperlogic Labs, and hopefully I can do crazier, cooler projects and not just a quick rundown on my home lab. I definitely want to get more into detail on each of these things, because I feel like I can do a video on every single one of these Docker containers, the VMs. I didn't even go over how I can SSH from my VS Code remotely into my Windows VM, so that way I can code from my Linux machine from that Windows. I think I said that wrong, but whatever. I think you guys get the point, where I can code in my VS Code in Linux and it's connected to that Windows VM through SSH. I have that set up as well, which I didn't go over. But yeah, I'm definitely going to start making more videos, and then I just need to come up with a way to be a little bit more structurally organized when making these and not just doing things on the fly. But thank you for watching, and you guys have a good day.